Hey, you guys, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki, and today I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at naughtylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable, and please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Hey y'all, hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Naughty Love Movement. It's your host, Naughty, bringing you the latest and trending topics and I vlog my life. And yes, I am back. Definitely back. I'm back to address a couple of things going on in my comments. Okay. I know people have free will to say whatever they want, but when it comes to people being ignorant, I'm going to call you out. Can I control what you say? But I find it quite odd that people have so much to say. They are keyboard gangsters in my comments, but they will never have the goal to come up on my live, hit the link. You hide behind my comments like a little punk ass, okay? And I'm gonna put you on blast today so that other content creators can know who to look for. But my disposition is you're a racist and a Karen, okay? And for you to make accusations, unfounded accusations, that my channel is racist, I take major offense to that. Absolutely, I do. I take major offense to that because I am going to stand up for the injustices that are committed against my people because this has been going on for over 200 years in this racist country. And if me standing up for what's right makes my channel and me racist, then you don't belong here. You don't belong in my comments. And you don't deserve the freedoms that are afforded to us, which the number one freedom we are afforded is freedom of speech. And every time I start my show, because I'm tired of this, every time I start my show, I always say, we are here to give our opinions about the trending topics, and opinions are not facts. We discuss things under the Fair Use Act, Copyright Act 107. What part of that? But what I can't stand when people make these generalized comments with no foundation, no specifics, and you're a coward. Because if you felt that strongly, come into my comments. Hit the link. Like the video, like the video, like the video. This is the ignorance that I don't have time for. And I'm going to share it and I'm going to put you on blast. And I'm going to also drop the link because if you in my bushes or if you have the balls to come up and face me, come on up. Come on, I welcome the conversation. I welcome it. I'm so tired of people. It's probably rest of cold slaw crash out. So I get a comment, Naughty Crew. Let me make sure I have my right thing up. In my thing, and I know people are ignorant. And shout out to Denise. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for participating. And I appreciate all of my Naughty Crew. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't appreciate is this ignorant bullshit right here from the Boss Ross 1980. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Let's be clear. Let's make it big so everybody can see it. You have the balls, the cojones, to say to me, thought this was a great channel, but wow, this is one of the most racist channels I've come across. Ignoring facts and going with what suits you. That is going to get you legal trouble. No wonder you begging for likes. Girl, first of all, learn English. Learn proper English before you address me. And it sounds just like a comment I had the other day that I timed out. Always threaten me legal problems. Nothing about my channel is racist. Let's be clear. Nothing about my channel is racist. You want to tell me what's racist? You're racist for even making that comment. The fact that you're comfortable saying that on a public platform makes your ignorance beyond any racism. Right. God's anointed, when it doesn't fit their narrative, then they call it racist. Right. Move around. And see, what people need to learn, just because you think it, that don't mean you need to say it. And I could take constructive criticism. I don't feel like I'm beyond that or whatever. I never proclaim to be perfect. I'm always looking to learn. That's why I'm open to everybody's point of view. But the situations that are going on with Nolan Wells and Carmelo Anthony, racism is definitely the root of it. But she don't even know. I graduated high school from one of the most affluential high schools in New Jersey, Glenridge High School. Yes, yes, yes. Tom Cruise and I are alum. I graduated with a class of 60 people. 5 of them were black. I beat the odds. Because I was raised properly. I was raised by wonderful women in my life that poured into me so I could understand my worth. Did I always know what that meant? No. No. It took experience and life and me to grow up, you know what I mean, to really like make it all full round circle. But I am fortunate enough and blessed with women that are around me that poured into me, that were great examples, who I appreciate, like all the women in my life. You know what I mean? So, like, it offended me. This comment, it offended me, because I don't walk life judging people, discriminating against people. I'm open to a lot, you know what I mean? Like, I've learned a lot through the years. So I'm definitely offended that someone will put this in my comments. And, you know, I beat the odds. So Nolan's story really hit home for me. Because I was one of those people going to school with a bunch of Caucasians who probably looked down upon me because of my color instead of my character. But I went through a lot going to an all-white school with rich kids. And my family was just working class, like they saved their money and they were able to move to a great neighborhood, so that we can have a chance. And it was a lot, moving to a town like this. And then ultimately, my senior year, my life blew up. My dad was dying. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. Ended up pregnant at 17. And you know what? My classmates rallied behind me and understood the pain that I was going through and losing a parent so young. And it was years later when I went to my class reunion and my classmates came up to me and they said, "Yeah, Nicole, you really had a tough year. We really felt for you." And there was an exchange student. I think he came from Germany. Um, on a student visa and things like that. And they told me a story when I was out of school that he stood up for me. And I always been a type, like, I always attached to the underdog, you know what I mean? I knew he was new to this country, trying to figure it all out and things like that. And that just goes to show my spirit. Like, and we became friendly. And I just didn't even know until years later how much I meant to him, you know. And I know in growing this channel, it's going to be some adversity. It's going to be discord and things like that. But I just don't like when people misjudge me, misjudge my intentions. Yeah, I'm good, James. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm dealing with some controversy in my comments. Somebody called my channel racist, and I'm not. I'm gonna erase the comment, but I wanted to address it publicly. Because I'm so tired of these cowards all up in my comments. They have so much chit chat all up in my comments, but never on a live. You know what I mean? Hanging in the bushes. And then when we end the live, you know what I'm saying? Now we're a racist channel because we're talking about uncomfortable subjects over here. Yes, absolutely. I'm a challenge my naughty crew. That's how we grow as a people. That's how we grow our understanding, our perspective. It's all good. I'll review it for everybody that's just joining. Someone came into my comments. And to be specific, it was the boss Ross 1980 stating, "Thought this was a great channel, but wow, this one of the most racist channels I've come across. Ignoring facts and going with what suits you. That is going to get you in legal trouble. No wonder you begging for likes." Thank you, James. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of my naughty crew. I appreciate all of my naughty crew. Thank you. Hey, Veronica. Right. CC Punk Bush Babies. Like, hit the chat. Hit the live. I dare you to say that to our face, because this is the least racist channel on YouTube. But when there's injustices committed against my people, I'm going to create a conversation. I'm going to push the story, whether it's the least liked story or not. But I think in that person saying that comment, you're projecting your racism onto my channel. You're a Karen. Thank you, Sonia. Right. It's horrible. And look, we all may not know each other personally, you know what I'm saying? But I get a general consensus of how my people operate, right? And the last thing I want to do is make someone feel discriminated against. That we went over to this morning. I cover all sides. I cover all perspectives. So that we look, it would have been a gentleman that's saying statistically, our children, black children, are more in danger around black kids than white kids. Did I not disagree with that? I don't agree with anybody 100%. I always say that. Even my own people can be wrong about their perspectives. You understand? But this is why we drive conversation. So we can get a healthy perspective of how we should think and approach situations. Hold on, let me punch out for lunch, y'all. And then I'm all yours. Okay. So I'm just tired, of people coming in my comments being keyboard wanksters and whatnot. You know what I mean? They be so tough on the replay game in the comments, but they not being honest. They not really hearing everything I should say. And it's probably coming from the hate train from Russell Coleslaw Crash Out camp, okay? But just yesterday, they said, oh, because I was speaking on hashtag Save Junior and pointing out the obvious, now I could be sued. Like, come on now. Come on now. Thank you, Noah. Right, Veronica. And that's why I kind of like got into my background and how I grew up and where I ended up. I was lucky enough to have parents that worked hard, saved their money so that we can have better. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I went from living in East Orange, which was a predominantly black neighborhood. Then we moved to Bloomfield. And Bloomfield was a lot more mixed. But then once we got to Glen Ridge, right here where I am, you know what I'm saying? Still here. Parents own. My mom owns this house outright. You know what I mean? It was like a culture shock for me. You know what I'm saying? Because not only was I dealing with like going to school around a predominantly white high school, I was dealing with a different economic class of people. If you know, Glen Ridge is filthy rich, generational wealth rich. You know what I'm saying? So for my family to sacrifice to get us here is a big, big, big deal. That I never, not once, take that for granted. Ever. I don't take that for granted. Ever. But because of how I grew up with diversity, you know what I mean? I think that gives me my edge. The fact that I can communicate and intermingle with anyone. Yeah, it won't be tolerated. And I wanted to make sure, right, James, people use sheets to cover their faces and now they're hiding behind the keyboard. Absolutely. And I'm going to call it out. And anybody who comes in my comments with foolery, just understand that I'm going to put you on blast. So all my subscribers know who you are, and all my colleagues, my fellow content creators, know who you are. Stay out of my chat with the ignorance. It doesn't even make sense. It just really doesn't even make sense at all. It doesn't even make sense. You don't know me. You don't know my background. You know what I'm saying? I have many, many layers. I'm a Gemini. You know what I'm saying? We got many sides to us. Okay. We're like chameleons. And I always try to present the best part of myself. And when I do present topics to my naughty crew, I try to be objective, I try to be fair, and I try to give different perspectives. So that when we all walk away from this live, we're all better. We're all better. We're all a little more educated. And we're conscious about what is going on around us. And our people have suffered. The men, like men in my family have been discriminated against with the court systems and things like that. I've seen it. I've seen the injustices through the years. And so when situations like Nolan Wells and Carmelo Anthony come up, it's like it's just like a wound that never can heal. Our people get taken advantage of with the laws and the systems. Now we got two families out here grieving over their black sons, their hopes and dreams that they had for their black sons wiped away at the hands of a privileged white boy. So instead of attacking my channel, why don't you attack the injustices and the ignorance of white supremacy that is alive and well? Continuing to try to suppress my people because they are scared of our strengths. This has been the case for years. My grandfather always used to tell me the root of hate, the root of evil is fear. I agree, Veronica. I agree. That's absolutely true. And I don't believe it's all white people. But I believe there's a lot of families, white families, where this type of ignorant thinking was instilled. Not going to say all. I've come across some great, great, great white families. You know what I mean? Like, they got their problems too. Thank you, Cece. Thank you. Right. So, I grew up in a family. My family is veterans too. My stepdad was a double Purple Heart veteran. He fought the Korean War and the Vietnam War. And one of the main things he said when he left for war, he was very patriotic. By the time he went through the Marines, he realized how bad and what a sickness racism is. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then on top of everything, you got to deal with our people tearing each other down. So, I mean, it's like burning the candle at both ends. You damn if you do and you damn if you don't. You can't win. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I stood up and although I don't agree with the relationship that Young Miami had with Diddy, okay. Number one, I think that was a situation that was beneficial to the two of them. Like Diddy was in a position where he was trying to become more relevant again. So he attached himself to someone younger, right? Okay. Do I agree with the different things that took place? Her being named in lawsuits and things like that. At the end of the day, she was not criminally charged. So we don't know if those things are true or not. But they both grown people, right? And Diddy's history is out there. That's up to Carisha to make that decision. Now, do I feel like she has to pay for all the sins of Diddy? Absolutely not. And we punished her already. And now she got to get to the bag. That woman got to feed her kids too. And I told y'all she was only rapping about where she came from, right? Right? Check out Young Miami's history. Mm-hmm. This is where she came from. This is her mother. Shout out to That's Vana for this article. The mother of rapper Young Miami was at a mall with a male friend stealing high end designer handbags from a Macy's department store. After fleeing the store, they drove off in a Chrysler 300 with the male friend driving and running through a stop sign. They could they collided with another car and deleted the female driver and left her passenger in a coma. The male driver was arrested at the scene while Young Miami's mama ran before being apprehended. The man that drove the getaway car faced multiple charges, including first degree felony red rum, armed robbery, vehicular homicide, and reckless driving. He was sentenced to life in prison. Young Miami's mama accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to reduced charges. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. She was released from prison in 2021. Yuck, thank you, Veronica. Young Miami is a product of her environment of basically scammers and boosters. So she makes a song about it, just like every other artist out here. They rap about their experiences, where they grew up, and things like that. And she gets shunned by the holier than thou, India.Arie, Nikki Gilbert. Right. Thank you, Cece. She said, I will not agree with any black person or white person in their hatred of others. At the end of the day, we're all human. We're all human. We all bleed red, right? Young Miami is a product of her environment. Maybe that's why she didn't see nothing wrong with what Diddy was doing. That was probably instilled in her, right? Yeah, she's a wag. Yeah, she's a wag. She's a wag. All right. So that's just a little background. I didn't have time to get to that story this morning, but I've been telling y'all she's rapping about where she comes from, and she's not doing anything any different from what any of these other artists are doing. Okay. All right, another update before we get the big tigger's wife's mugshot. Another update in the Nolan Wells case, okay? The judge, who is Ashley Coles, she issued a statement in regards to the online rumors. So I wanted to give y'all an update on that. Let's get to that. Here we go. And shout out to Talk Your Nene. I love her. I love her. She's very familiar with all the social injustices that are going on.
Well, I stand corrected. Judge Ashley Cole has released a statement on behalf of her family and her stepson, Warren. I'm not going to read all, you guys can pause. Basically, she said that Nolan was a good friend of the family, went to school with Nolan's mother, Christine. She also said she told everybody to go private on their account for the very simple reason that she has younger children and she did not want to subject them to social media and all of the harassment and bullying that was going to come with Nolan's unaliving. She said her and her husband were not at Horn Island on the 4th and that none of them are trying to impede on the investigation. That Warren was interviewed at Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 when the boat was taking on water and they had issues with the pump. She said Nolan made the decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, the guy to the far left of the screen, that is Warren. On top of that, Warren's mother made a statement. She basically said the same thing. We're all hurt, that people's information is not right. Another boy by the name Wyatt asked Nolan to get on the boat several times, but Nolan said he wanted to stay behind with Katie. She said Warren doesn't even own a boat. Once again, the boat was taking on water and it had to be towed to shore. She also said her son had nothing to do with it and he was the first one to notice that Nolan was missing when they got back to the house. They called his mother and the Coast Guard. The only thing that confuses me about this, Katie told her mother, and I quote, Katie assumed that the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't leave him. Warren's mother said Nolan wanted to stay with Katie. So who's the last one to actually be with Nolan? If Katie didn't stay, his friends didn't stay. Was he left there on the island by himself? I'm just raising questions. That's all I got for now. Will I stand?
Okay, hopefully that will give you guys a little clarity. My StreamYard is acting up again. Okay, I don't know. I think it's like when I share, that's when the problems come in. But that's just a little update on the Nolan Wells case. Let me see what y'all saying. That's true, Nani. We don't know this woman's entire story. Absolutely. Listen to all these artists, the storytelling products of their neighborhoods. Right. Right. Okay. And then last but not least, Alicia Brown. Her mugshot has been released. Mississippi. Yeah, come on now. Okay. Let's get into Alicia Brown. Jovi, shout out to Jovi Beauty. She's now under Pretty Politics. She was talking about this case this morning, okay? And shout out to Tasha K for this article. So this is Alicia Brown's mugshot. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alicia Brown is the wife of Atlanta radio host Darian Morgan Big Tigger, better known as Big Tigger. She accused him of pushing her headfirst into a door during the argument. According to the sheriff's office, Brown was wanted. Brown was wanted by the Baltimore County Police Department on warrants connected to the disappearance of the 10-year-old child who was reported missing in 2019. So according to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, is her name Alicia or Aaliyah? Aaliyah has been missing. The daughter has been missing since May 25th of 2019 from Reisterstown, Maryland, and she would be 17 years old today. The organization says she may be in the company of her mother, whatever that means. I just hope by the end of the week this little girl turns up. But a kidnapping charge is serious. Yes. Where there's dirt, it will come out into the wash. How true is that? How true is that? All right. Um, here is Big Tigger. Someone, I don't know if this is like a backup page of him. Hold on. This is 252 Lindsay. She said, Cuzzo, I'm going to keep it cute. I love you, man. Opinions and assholes go hand in hand. We know who are, and maybe you, she's supposed to say you, what you stand for. You always had my back and showed up and out for me and my girls. All that matters at this point is getting to see Xavier, a little smile, and making sure he's safe home with you. Okay, so this is Tigger's cousin. She put up a collage, and a cute little guy, isn't he? That's Tigger and his son. And she probably has more of an inside view. That's Tigger and his daughter. Oh, 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 he's a cutie. Look, I look on it at the history and the patterns of behavior of people, and I said right away, I did not believe this story. And one thing I want you guys to know is DV does not belong on social media. It belongs in a court of law so that it can be handled accordingly. And I always feel like when people put out this type of information, DV and all, or whatever, they are trying to drive or create their own narrative. And I always look at situations like this, that there's his side, her side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I pray that Tigger gets vindicated. I do. But I just look at other cases as an example, like Jonathan Majors and what he went through. He too was tussling over and he still was charged and he still lost everything. All right. So that's the updates on Big Tigger. Shout out to his cousin for having his back. Um, Back to the Young Miami situation, India.Arie, she presents herself to be this very in touch, socially conscious person, right? And when she saw at the BET Awards, Young Miami was getting praised for her song Spin That or whatever. And she said, wow, this is where the culture is. Well, Fun Flex is on one, okay? So he exposes another high profile nationwide scam that India.Arie was blind and absent from addressing. So you're quick to address Young Miami, but you ain't mentioned nothing about this. Like, come on now.
Your chip on your shoulder. I ain't saying you did something wrong, my brother. And I know we ain't never really talked about this. I ain't saying you did nothing wrong, but you knew. I'm gonna tell you something, Envy, and you really need to know this. You let a dude, not even from your culture, turn you against your people and rob them. That's, and I hate to put it like that, Envy, but that's what happened. You let somebody that ain't even from your thing make you rob your people, old, young, or whatever, on a real estate scam. And you walking around quiet. Listen, I hope you beat the case, my brother. I don't see nobody in jail. But you shouldn't feel good about that, my man. You shouldn't. You should not. And Charlamagne, you shouldn't feel good about whatever Jay's doing. You know what's so funny? Jay-Z doesn't ask anybody to be on his gremlin. Jay doesn't care. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying he's not out here recruiting people. You people go to him. He's not recruiting camp. You guys, and you're from North Carolina or South Carolina. Goobers, gobbler. You're from South Carolina, and you was gobbling Jay. That's what you were doing. I keep it a buck. I see Angie. Angie ain't buying in all of that. I mean, I ain't buying a lot of people. Ebro.
Okay, and just to give you guys perspective, shout out to Melrose Mikuso. Okay. She wrote in the caption, Indiari and everyone is crucifying Carisha for making a song about scamming. Is either a jealous, pocket watching, plays hater, or they're just a sheep that's following the crowd. Indiari and the rest of these people do not have a track record of calling out scamming or any other harms against Black society or inappropriate messaging and portrayals of Black society. She doesn't. Now, Indiari is known for talking about the injustices that happen within to her in the music industry and things like that. Right? All of a sudden, she's jumping on the bandwagon. That's how I told y'all. I call Bull Swinky, but you willing to attach your brand to it, though.
Bought into that a little bit. Ebro, I love you, man. I watched you up here, my brother. You felt special when Jay-Z used to call. You know what Ebro used to say to me sometimes? Yeah, Jay-Z called me. I used to just look at him. But I will say with Ebro's a musical fan of his first. Mm-hmm. He is a musical fan. And I know Ebro. I know when he went home a couple times, he said, damn, Jay shouldn't have done that. I know you said that. You can't, because you have morals. So a lot of people, man, hugged the man that didn't even want the attention.
I'm deep.
Now, I saw your open letter, I understood your vibe, and I hope I said some of the things that you were trying to get across, that we would like. Listen, forget making Jay-Z the person that needs to talk. Maybe this is where I disagree with you, Forget the people that were trying to make Jay-Z do what he needs to do for the youth. I don't think he signed up for that. And we should stop making it that. Here's what happened with Jay. He poked his head out, tried to stand up for a few things in the beginning. He took a few checks. And then what he stood for in the beginning, he could no longer kind of like, I for something. They were like, no, you took the bag. So I think Jay-Z is retired from the, hey, I'm out here to help the people. I think he is officially retired from that. He's grabbing all bags. And listen, if there's a company and they have envy, you walking around the town with your chip on your shoulder. I ain't saying you did something wrong, my brother. And I know we ain't never really talked about this. I ain't saying you did nothing wrong, but you knew. I'm going to tell you something, Envy, and you really need to notice. You let a dude, not even from your culture, turn you against your people and rob them.
And that's exactly what happened. And several people, even Joe Buttons, when Envy went on their platform, said this is a scam. This is a Ponzi scheme. And Envy didn't listen. And now he all cased up. At the end of the day, right? I think people need to learn. You can't project what you stand for onto other people. You just need to be accountable for yourself and make sure you are standing on business for yourself. And that's just the bottom line. And understand that everybody does not think like you, and you cannot project that onto the world. I think that's the lesson here. I think that's the lesson here, Naughty Crew. I appreciate y'all joining me. I'm going to go relax, get my voice back, because that comment just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I can't stand these keyboard wanksters. I really, really can't. But I welcome y'all to come into the live chat. Drop the link for you if you want to come up and have a conversation where, you know, you want to challenge something that I'm saying or that I'm covering. I welcome it. And we can have an adult conversation. And maybe we'll learn something and take something away from it. Shout out to all my Naughty Crew for always having my back. I appreciate y'all forever. Y'all go on and have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. Until next time, Naughty Crew, I'm out. 1